Hello, hello. This is Sheraz Ahmed here, ready to kick off this bite-sized episode of the Crypto Valley Association podcast. Let's discover together the latest trends of this fast-moving space and try to shed some light on the mysteries it contains. Today we have Cyrus Fazel, CEO of Swissborg, one of the rare crypto companies that is not based in Zug, but closer to my hometown, funny enough, in Lausanne. I'm looking forward to finding out more about how Swissborg has survived the bear market to come out on top with one of the best performing tokens of the year. So let's dive straight into the hidden world of digital asset investments. Cyrus, appreciate you taking the time to be with us. How is everything going?
Thank you, Sheraz, for being part of this show, and hi to every Crypto Valley community. It's really excited. I'm doing well. We're back into one fundamental fun craze, which is now DeFi taking over, and it's great to witness that there's more and more usage in crypto, and we have been in the last 2 years and some moments that were not as fun as we are seeing today, and I'm super pumped to be in it. Yeah, to be honest.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear. So maybe why don't you tell us a little bit more about what first got you involved within blockchain technology and this whole crypto space?
Yeah, that's a great question, Sheraz. So as we say, I fell in the rabbit hole very late. I was working mainly in private banking and hedge fund for a decade. And one day, essentially what happened is that I wanted to offer my dad a birthday present, and he's based in Iran. And there was no real way to get to buy him anything on Amazon or whatever. So I was told essentially that there was a guy that was accepting Bitcoins, and counterparty, he would actually, essentially offer whiskey. And I know my dad is a big whiskey fan because he grew up and was in Trinity and Cambridge College and all that. So long story short, I got into crypto and Bitcoin because I wanted to offer a bottle of whiskey to my dad in Iran.
Wow. Okay, that's definitely a first that I've heard. But great. And so, how did it go from a bottle of whiskey to Swissborg?
Multiple bottles of whiskey after. No, I think so. Like many people who got into crypto, they got it rather for the product or for the profit, right? And I definitely went in first for the product because I used it. Yes. Then I started seeing that, there was multiple different bull runs and, it was something interesting. And Anthony Le Souamier, the co-founder of Swissborg, he has a more engineering background. He got to a little bit more talk about what was behind a smart contract and how Ethereum could potentially, change a lot. Could really reshape multiple different industries. And the third layer is when you really connect the most. It's not by profit, neither by the product, but by purpose. And I think so, this is when I really embraced blockchain technology. It's through its purpose, is how we could get essentially bank pretty much everyone in the world, but more importantly, how can we essentially offer wealth management to the entire world? And until then, 2015, 2016, I was working for making wealthier people wealthier. So I was only really targeting at that 1% or that 0.1% of the people on the planet. And when I understood that essentially a smart contract could be a wallet and a wallet could be an investment mandate, I realized that you could essentially target the entire world. And I saw that, this was the trigger moment when I was like, okay, you know what? Even if you're a highly paid job, you're doing great and you're quite successful, let's forget about all of that. The profit, it's not the sum game. It's not really where you should focus, but really find something that could touch your heart and hopefully change this financial ecosystem.
Okay. And so you spoke about purpose. So what is the purpose of Swissborg? What products and services do you offer?
All right. I think so. The main mission at Swissborg is bringing Swiss wealth management to everyone, by making it fair, by making it fun, and by making it community centric. They're really the points that does not exist in finance, right? I mean, there is some fairness to some extent. There is not so much fun to this game. And more importantly, there's not really anything community-centric. I think so. It's very individualistic type of conducting. And I don't think so that is sustainable in the long run. You really want to make sure that you're building something for the long run and for multiple for an entire community, not just for one person. If not, again, you're going into the zero-sum game. I'm winning, you're losing, and it doesn't really evolve, and it doesn't really scale at the end. So we got in, quite late. Swissborg, that was early 2016. We got to look into the ICO space very early, and we're one of the very lucky ones that were able to reach our hard cap of 52 million and get this out of 23,000 people around 149 countries. So that was like the first cornerstone where we said, okay, now we're here to stay. It's not just a game. We have a lot of power and a lot of responsibilities. So we have to really offer and build a very great roadmap, which I hope we've been doing for the last 3 years.
Okay, interesting. And so you spoke a lot about community, and I have to agree that community is really a driver, especially in this cryptocurrency space. So is that maybe the reason why you decided to build the community app quite early on? Would you like to speak to us a little bit more about what this application does and maybe some insights behind the strategic decision to create something like this?
Right. So during the referendum, we had multiple referendums, and we think this is something really great. All the concept of Swissborg is based on this meritocratic way. And what people have when they bought our tokens, it's a multi-utility token, they have essentially a few ways of staking and a few ways to use their token. The first one was these referendums. And the referendum, the first big question is that we want to build an investment platform, because that was in our white paper. And we want to know if it was going to be a mobile-based or desktop-based. People voted for mobile-based. And then the second theme we had is what kind of investment theme would excite you the most. And people had a very strong connection of gaming. So we said, until we don't develop this new wealth app, we should at least have one fun game. And as many people know, we're all about edutainment. We really want to educate people, but entertain them at the same time, because our mission, again, is to make as well our financial ecosystem fun. And we looked at 2017, 2018, and one of the biggest issues, people got in the space and got burnt. And a lot of people bought Bitcoin at 15,000. A lot of people bought Ether at whatever, $800, and got out of the space. And we said, okay, let's try to focus on giving a great experience of our community by educating them. And that's the community app. Now we have close to 150,000 people around the world playing this game. Wow. It's a very easy game where essentially you log on a daily basis. You want to see if Bitcoin's going up or down. You place your bets with different points. So you do risk management. And by doing that, you could look at different ways of technical analysis. You could look at our different AI indicators, and it really teaches you the right patterns, how to essentially trade. And there's no risk in it because you're just you're betting points. But the great thing out of it is that you could earn Swissboard tokens. And I think so. The winner right now is earning close to $7,000.
Oh wow!
What is really great about it, it's not only the fact that we're educating and we're growing our community, is that people who want to withdraw their tokens have to do that into the wealth app. So for us, was as well a very good bridge to bring in more people to get to know us a bit more and then trade for real within the wealth app. So that was the different reasons why we built this community app.
Okay, well, it's great to hear. It's a little bit like an entry into crypto for these newcomers that can actually get involved. They can enjoy a little bit. I've personally actually played around with the community app, and it does get a little bit addictive when you see, every 24 hours you can place your order and see, okay, is it going to go down now or is it going to go up? And it's very simple, right? You just predict, is it going to go up and down? And with that, you get a little bit more involved. You're like, okay, what is happening? What are the movements? And it's an awesome way, I think, to grow a community. And 150,000 people, as you just said, it's huge. And so how did maybe this help you launch the wealth app?
Yeah, I think so. This was a great way to bring in a lot of people within the wealth app, and obviously our ICO and our token holders are very excited, and we're seeing more and more people. So the competition is not over. So people are still, really forecasting a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I'm nowhere in the top 100, which sucks because if you're like in top 100, you're earning more than $200.
Oh,
So
wow.
I need to get back into that. But I'll get there, I'm sure. It has helped a lot. It helps a lot because, for the crypto enthusiasts and the crypto investors, this is a fun way. But for the newcomers, it's a great way. It's really the best way because people don't want to get burnt. But then when they start realizing that there, out of maybe 100 forecasts, they had maybe like 55 forecasts that were right, or maybe 51 or 52, that starts to build them confidence. So we saw a lot of newcomers in the Wealth app, and I think so. This is overall, it's our goal. We obviously want to serve the crypto enthusiast and the crypto savvies, but we want to bring in Mr. Everyone into the crypto world because that's something that we have to do. Because right now we're only maybe 50 million people around the world that use crypto.
Yes.
There's still
such a small percentage, right? I mean, bringing global adoption. And I think what you've been able to do with the Wealth app is fantastic. I mean, the optimized trades that look so complex, yet they're so simply done through the Wealth app. And it's a different way of trading. So maybe you want to speak a little bit about the user experience of that, being able to visualize these trades that go through multiple different exchanges at one time to give you the best price. It was very fascinating when I first saw that.
Yeah, thanks, Sheraz, for mentioning it. The idea here was, are we going to build another exchange and compete with existing ones, or did we look for collaboration? And I think so at Swissborg, one of the fundamental things that we always wanted to collaborate. We don't want to essentially compete with all the different blockchain projects because we know there's already a great amount. And I think so it comes back to what has been done as well in the past. NASDAQ, essentially before NASDAQ, there was nothing. Then they created NASDAQ, they pulled in together all these different brokers, create the Swift technology, and then trading started to get better and better in terms of fees, in terms of transparency, liquidity, everything. And this is exactly what we're trying to replicate at Swissborg, is that we took the best exchanges such as Binance, Kraken, LMAX, BTC, and others. We said, okay, how can we connect all these different order books together and on top create a meta exchange, right? A little bit like booking.com or all these different other websites that purchases air tickets or whatsoever. And we've done that same logic where we build this meta exchange. On top of it, we'll put all together these different order books. And when one wants to go from fiat to crypto, what we do is that not only we look at best prices, but we look at best routes. So if, for example, you want to buy Swiss francs and, buy a Swissborg token, this pair doesn't exist. But what's going to do is that it's going to look at all the different exchanges and see what's the different prices, but at the same time trying to optimize that trade. So for example, maybe we'll go from Swiss francs to dollars to Bitcoin and Ether, and then maybe on another exchange we'll go buy Bitcoin to Swissborg tokens and Ether to Swissborg tokens. And sometimes these routes could be like 3, 4, 5, 6 different legs and multiple trades. It happens within 10 milliseconds. And that is one of the great unique selling point that we have, is we offer eliminated trades, best prices, best execution, and all that given to any Mr. Everyone, right? It's not only for the best hedge funds, it's literally for Mr. Everyone. And I think so that's one of the great things that people love experimenting while they're trading with the Swissborg app.
Oh, definitely. And I think being in this space for a long time, you start to realize how complicated it used to be when, for example, you might want to buy some crypto through fiat, and you can go, from your bank to Coinbase. But then if you wanted to buy another token, you might have to go through another route. And then it's just, you go through so many different intermediaries. And it just becomes quite crazy, and you have to hold maybe 20 different accounts of exchanges and go from one to another if you have different holdings. And it becomes quite a nightmare to manage everything with different passwords, et cetera, et cetera. So having a type of meta exchange sounds like quite a great and innovative approach. How do you think, or what do you believe the exchanges feel about having a meta exchange over them?
Well, I think so. Most of them, for example, Kraken, Binance, and BTC, and all of them, the four of them are super excited. right? I mean, we're bringing more liquidity. So for them, it's something that they enjoy a lot. And again, we collaborate with them, right?
Yeah.
We're bringing in them more liquidity. We're bringing in experienced traders, but as well, just regular people that get into crypto. So I think so, we all feel that we're on the same mission, and there's a lot of room for new exchanges as well. Now we will be adding exchanges to our smart engine as well.
Okay.
So for us, it's great, and for them, it's great as well.
Okay, awesome. And do you ever plan to be the liquidity provider yourself?
So creating our own exchange, it's not in the pipeline, to be honest. We definitely believe that we're a tech fin company, and we have today over 40 engineers in total. I think so over the 2/3 of employees at Swissborg are engineers.
Wow.
We don't want to compete against what has been done quite well, and even better and better. I mean, Coinbase, what they've done is great. Kraken is getting better and better as well. Binance as well. There's so many different exchanges so far. So the idea is to keep the same approach as we have today, and then building more and more amazing products and more services on top of that.
Awesome. So yes, so to let them do what they do best, and then to just do what you do best, and to leverage both of those. Wow. Okay, great. And so there's been a lot of talk about Swissborg in the media, and a lot of hype around it due to the recent evolution and rise of your tokens. So maybe do you want to talk to us a little bit more about that and what you believe has driven the success in the past 2 months, where the token has risen close to 1,000%? It's insane.
Yeah, it's quite insane. Well, for the space, it does. We do see those things happening sometimes, but yeah, for sure, going from the top 400 to the top 100, it really, to be honest, it even made me cry. I was like, oh, it's amazing. I had really tears in my eyes. But it's hard work. I think so. Everything in life happens like that. Is that you have a great amount of work that is done that no one really appreciates it at that. And then suddenly you make the headlines, right? But about success and sports and work and love and life, it's all the same patterns, right? There's a big amount of sacrifice of time, concentrating your resource, doing the right thing. And then eventually that right thing starts to get acknowledged. And then you have that positive momentum that builds up your success. And it's exactly the same with that. So we did do maybe tenfold, the performance of token, but that could have been done maybe 1% a day during, maybe 2 years or a year and a half. We would have got that, and that would have been exactly what the work was behind. And from that, what we have to learn is that first, these markets are extremely volatile, and then they are starting to get some fundamentals to this, right? A lot of people believe in technical analysis, but there's a lot of fundamental investing. If it goes to Bitcoin, it goes to blockchain apps, and it goes as well to utility tokens. And the fundamentals at Swissborg, I think so, has been shown that our Swissborg token, our CHSB token, is the heart of our ecosystem. And we've been saying that prior to ICO, during ICO, and today is the same case. And we really want to create, and we've been creating this multi-utility token that has different usages. And the first one was the referendums, so giving you the voice to make sure that we have a decentralized governance that we see as well in a lot of DeFi projects. But on the same time is that while you're staking the Swissborg token on the Wealth app, enables you to get free trading or different privileges within the Wealth app. And those are two utilities that have a strong way of showing confidence into and usage within our token. And we've added as well on top the protect and burn, which is that essentially our token is not performing very well and it's under the 20-day moving average. 20% of the total revenues actually go to buy the token and then burn it. So it gives a buy pressure. It obviously as well reduces the supply as well. So it diminished the sell pressure, and that shows as well a lot of confidence. And last but not least, as you mentioned, we have this community, and we've been nurturing this community for a very long time, offline through multiple different meetups, blockchain on chain conferences, but as well online through all the social media platform that exists. And I think so this is something that again is at the essence of Swissborg, we call it Swissborg, but it's, it could be called Polish Borg or French Borg or German Borg whatsoever. There's so many different countries and so many people that love Swissborg, and we love so much. And that's the one reason why later on I'll do the powwow of the week and communicating to our community that we love so much. And to push that extent a bit more, I think so most crypto projects should not only have decentralized governance, but has as well a DEO platform. And this is what we've put in place. We haven't ever marketed. So it's a very small community of 400 people on a daily basis, have a lot of different missions that go from ambassador programs to affiliate programs to, and within it, there's other different missions, which is, artistic things that are being done, project management, marketing, and people really helping us to grow. And all these people get rewarded each time. And one of the big projects we had this year was the crypto financial reports that the whole CEO did. There was 15 contributors. And I think so this was run by multiple different people and brought out from different sources. So it's how to, again, that same philosophy again, how to collaborate with people in a better way in order to get a better financial ecosystem out of it, and how to empower each individual.
Okay, well, awesome. Yeah, I mean, kudos for sticking it out through the crypto winter, this bear market, and it's great to see that your efforts, we can see them visibly being out. So that's great to hear. And so you're actually not based within the crypto valley, right? You're a little bit further out in Lausanne, as I said in the introduction. Why have you maybe either distanced yourself or decided to be based within Lausanne?
First, because my Swiss German sucks. No, but I think so. The location of the office of any startup or scale up is always like 5 blocks away from the founder's place. And that goes to our story as well, is that initially, I'm been living here in Lausanne for some time. And it was first based here because it was in my living room and with Anthony. So we were living together and we didn't have an office. And then we started evolving and we had, get to know all the EPFL community and the Canton de Vaud, even if it doesn't look like it's one of the biggest startup Canton of Vaud, actually, Switzerland. There's a lot of things going on. EPFL, like ETH as well, are both great engineering schools. It happens to be that our old backend programming language is out of Scala. Scala is made out of EPFL. So there's a lot of links that have been building, and all positive momentum made us stick to Lausanne. And most probably, our HQ is here. I mean, we have offices then, in London, Toronto, Tallinn, and we have a lot of remote people, but it's true that we love Lausanne, and and we really appreciate what Crypto Valley has done, and it has changed a lot since 2017, and we definitely realize that there's a lot of great startups there, and there's a huge ecosystem that we do benefit from, but not as much as we would be there. But it's quite close anyway. I mean, and you're in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, which I always seem to say is the better part anyway. So it's a nice place to be, and Switzerland is small, right? So your ability to be within the crypto valley is an hour and a half, 2 hours distance. So it's not too far. And you spoke about yourself having these different hubs, different offices around the world, and this growing team. So where do you see the investment space as a whole headed within digital assets and the blockchain space? Yeah, I think so. From 2017 to 2020, we've seen a lot happening, and crypto has these dog years where 1 year is like a 7-year on regular financial market type of framework. And we've seen that again as well for the crisis in March, right? Bitcoin went from 9,000 to 4,000 within 1 day and a half, and then went back, within 1 month back to its mean. So obviously the end goal would be that everything would be tokenized, and everyone will be able to, through his mobile phone, essentially buy and trade and sell different security tokens, utility tokens, payment tokens, and that's maybe the end goal. It's hard to see how this is going to happen on the short term, We've seen some security tokens that are getting momentum. That's mainly stable coins and some commodities like gold, such we have in the wealth app. We haven't seen so much other, we've seen cases. It's just that it's not being used so much. I mean, there's a lot of real estate that's been tokenized, even in Zurich, but we haven't seen so much trading volume through it. And if there's no usage of a product, the technology is not going to be so famous at the end. So I see a lot growing from less from the payment tokens. So all the Bitcoin likes, I don't see these growing as much as people would say. I know a lot of people have strong belief in Litecoin or Ripple or different other payment tokens. I don't see them as much because I just see stable coins taking over or community centric type of new ways of growing, like what DAI has been doing, MakerDAO has been doing. I see another space really much growing is the DeFi space, that we really fully embrace the DeFi space, all the decentral governance that will go with it, but as well all the peer-to-peer lending. This is something that Swissborg will officially announce very soon, but we are building and we have partners in that space. So we are going into that space for sure. And this space, has grown from a few $100 million to over $3.5 billion right now greatly, and it's probably going to grow more. So that is massive, and that's just only going to grow. Especially we haven't seen so much Asian inflows going there. So it's been very, I think, so focused in Europe, like through Aave or Compound through the States, and MakerDAO, which is Latin America, North America, and Europe. But we haven't seen that so much in the Asian space. So I think so that is going to be a very big thing happening, especially if Tron gets into that space or other more Asian type of blockchains. I see as well more and more proof of stake growing. Cardano has shown that they're very aggressive on that. Tron has been very aggressive on hostile takeovers. Comment on that, but as well growing a lot of dApps on their platform and utility tokens. I think so. This is a space that we've seen with BNB, we've seen now with Swissborg, we've seen with Compound, we see a lot of different utility tokens that are growing, where a lot of people in 2017 had said that this was going to be the future. 2018, we saw that everyone lost 99% or just went to zero. But we're seeing more and more utility tokens growing. That's something that I really have faith. And last but not least, one of our strong partners is Engine. They're obviously on our wealth app. I just believe this is where mass adoption is going to happen. If you look at the different video games that has been launched through Engine, Azure Heroes, or there's so many different other cool games. These collectibles, NFT tokens, I really think this is the future and how we're going to get to mass adoption. Right now, you could, like, for example, win a cyborg of Swissborg in the Lost Relics. I think so. For example, owning that character is going to just grow. It's going to be worth a lot of money, and there's going to be more usage of that cool cyborg within Lost Relics. And I think so that's something that we could see growing. And imagine a FIFA competitor in 2025 where you're going to be building your team and you're going to see, okay, this guy is now the best goaler in the world. Well, then you'll be able to sell it against another attacking or defendant, whatever you want. And that for me is something that I'll be betting on, is how these NFT tokens could add a lot of value into the virtual e-gaming industry, which today is 220 billion revenues that nothing's going to the players.
Well, it's huge, right? And the whole esports industry is booming, or is starting to booming at least now as well. So now I definitely want a little bit more. And thank you for that perspective on the future. And time is of the essence, and to maybe wrap things up here. Cyrus, do you have any last words for our audience? It's been great having you. Is there any new initiatives to be launched soon? Anything you want to share with us?
Share my love for all the community, the community crypto holders. I just want to always say that Swissboard, we try to do our best to meet everyone's expectation. I want to pass the word and to love all the community behind it. The big news for us is definitely the DeFi space that we'll be entering hopefully very soon. There's as well the theme-based investments that people have been talking for a long time that no one's been able to launch them. It's on our roadmap and we want to deliver this. But like always, before getting to great success, chi va piano va sano va lontano, right? So you have to make sure that we grow steadily and then we deliver the best tech and the best products that we build.
Of course, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Awesome. So I'm looking forward to further seeing the fruits of your labor. And well, if you enjoyed this conversation, feel free to check out more on our website, cryptovalley.swiss, where we host plenty of events, educational content, and even provide some information on how you can join our growing community. So, well, thank you once again, Cyrus, and stay tuned, stay safe. And until next time from the Crypto Valley in Switzerland. Bye-bye.